Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, today at Rem Connect at Alex TV. Together, today we gather here today to focus on the matters of Pakistani refugees in Europe and specifically in Germany. Recently, a myriad of project debates has been present to address questions, to raise awareness on policy matters, on the matters of human rights violations that refugees face in their home countries, but also in the resettlement countries, as for example in Germany. What makes them flee towards a country as Germany? And in this debate, an important part of the world has been a bit obscured. Too little actually is known about South Asia, and particularly Pakistan. So today we are here to address the policies and problems that Pakistani refugees face in their home countries and Germany as a resettlement country. So why people are running away from so-called safe countries. Today I'm very glad to welcome our three guests. Sami Ullah, a refugee activist from Pakistan, working for refugee rights here in Berlin, co-founder of theatre group Refugee Club Impulse and coordinator of the organization My Right Is Your Right. Then on my left we have Rifat Wani, an activist from Indian-occupied Kashmir. She lives in Stuttgart as a refugee and worked with a lot of human rights organizations as Save the Children USA and United Nations. In Berlin, she's also engaged and coordinates for the Free Kashmir organization, and particularly the women wing of this organization. And last but not least, our journalist from Berlin, from Pakistan, living in Berlin, Irfan Aftab, welcome. He completed his master's degree in intercultural communications at the European University Frankfurt-Oder in Germany, currently works for GeoNews TV Pakistan, and you also reported on the refugee crisis last summer at the different borders, Hungarian-Serbian border, Hungarian-Austrian border. So welcome, the three of you.
Thank you.
Sami, I'm going to start with you. Can you tell us a bit, why did you decide to leave Pakistan?
I live in a small town. It's near Multan. Mm-hmm. It's not a very developed area in Pakistan. It's under development. For the few years I worked as an aero technician for the different aircrafts in Pakistan. I live in different places, and in 2008 I moved back to my hometown, and I started my business there. I can say it's a very common problem. The problem which we have there, it's about access to the justice is one of those issues, and it was my property was occupied from one group, and then the court decided that police is supposed to help me and to get this occupation back. Until now, I am owner, and but there are the other ways. The mafia, they're putting the fake applications in the court, and this system is taking so long. Every time they are not presenting a report to the court, what court is asking. Sometimes their lawyers are absent, and in this way they're just extending the case. And I'm waiting here out of my home about the court decisions, that when I will get this decision from the court and when it will be practically applicable, that when the police will obey the decision of the court, and they will help me to get my occupied property back, because of which I had this life threat, and I had to leave because of this life threat. And when you claim for the right, and you are not with the privileged background, or you don't have the strong network in that, I will say, the corrupt political system, then you never have access to the justice, and you live like life as I am living. When I started to ask for my right, and then I get the life threats, and that was the reason which made me to refuse from Pakistan and look for next destination to live there.
Thank you, Sami. Irfan, maybe I would like now to come to you. As Sami explained, that he was fleeing actually from life-threatening situation in his home country. So what are the main reasons of people, of mainly young men, for leaving Pakistan? Because generally the perception is that refugees from Pakistan are economic migrants. So how do you see that? And especially also when you were working at the borders, Hungarian borders.
This label economic migrant, I don't feel comfortable with that. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, if we are talking about Pakistan, so you have to understand the society of Pakistan as well. At the moment, it's around the population of Pakistan, which is unofficially, so to say, it's more than 200 million. And according to some census, it's the gender women population is more than 51%. But the general 51%. But the general perception, or what we always say, the social system, it's more or less male-dominated, where male is the one who leads the family, who runs the family, who works for the family. So that's the one point, actually, if we talk about the gender balance, why men are coming here. But at the same time, there are several other problems also in Pakistan, why people are coming out of that country, as one of them Sami mentioned. So the point, when EU or any other country say Pakistan is a safe country, the point what really to note is that is Pakistan is a safe country or not? Mm-hmm. And those who are coming out, from what way they are choosing to come out. There are many students who are coming as well. And Pakistan, if you see the history of Pakistan, since 1947, it's got independence from India. It was always like that the outflow of migrants is much more bigger than the inflow. So people go more out. So what I'm trying to say is that general perception towards migration is quite positive. One member of family will go out of the country and he will take care, so to say, 6 members of family, and everybody will be more happy to let one person go out and to struggle in order to make the better future for their family. So it's quite positive for them to let one man go out and work for them. So it's also a very interesting point. And then, as I said about the way people want to go out, then comes the human trafficking, human smuggling. I think it was 2013 when United Nations released its report, and it was mentioned that around this human trafficking network it's in this industry is more than $1.1 billion. In South Asia, particularly more in Pakistan, and there were also some numbers. I'm not sure about that 30 to 50,000 people every year go out of Pakistan as illegal migrant, either to go to Dubai, to Europe, some other countries as well. So there are different points where we can see the issues regarding migrants in Pakistan as well. The main reason behind them is poverty, of course. There are more than 60% people in Pakistan who earn less than $2 a day, which is officially under poverty. So poverty is the main reason. But once they come here, this label comes up, these are economic migrants. And there are lots of other issues we will talk later also. But I'm not, as I said, comfortable with this label, economic migrant.
Rifat, can you tell me a bit more about, as a woman, how difficult was it to leave, to take the decision actually to leave Kashmir?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank you, Rem Connect and Alex, for giving me a chance to speak on the important issue. Yes, of course, it was difficult, when you leave your beloved ones behind, when you leave your home country, when you leave your own house where you are born, your family, your own people, and you are migrating country to country. But what are the reasons I was forced to take this step? Reasons are because my state is occupied by 3 countries, India, Pakistan, and China. So we are divided in 3 parts, and the worst part is India, where I am born. They are killing our people. They have killed till now. It's not my figures. Times of India says that more than 100,000 people are being killed in Kashmir during these since the Kashmir dispute starts. So women are being raped, and it's on daily basis. We have curfew, killings, and lots of other issues. You know, women are not safe there. All the time, our school education, our economy, there are lots of factors. But particularly was my family, because my father, he was politically active for the freedom of Kashmir. So my family was on stake. They tried to kill my father, and my father, he was not able to live there. They hit my grandmother, and she got a cancer after that. Yeah, my uncle, he was in prison for so many years. So my family was tortured by Indian Army, and this was the main reason I left from. We left from. I was a child. I belong to a family which want a freedom, and my work was my biggest enemy. So. Unfortunately, it didn't work for me. So I left that country as well and came to Germany for a better future, for a better environment, and to work specifically for my own people, because humanitarian work is in my blood. So I can't leave that work. But I need a platform. I need a specific place where I can start my work again. So I started to work with Free Kashmir organization. I'm working with them as a volunteer. I'm raising humanitarian issues, whatever is happening in Kashmir by Indian forces. So I'm highlighting that issues. I'm writing whenever I found a platform. I'm speaking on that.
Because media nowadays, information is very quick, very reachable for all of us, certainly also via social media. And you, Irfan, as working as a journalist in the context of Pakistan, we hardly get anything positive of this country. It's more about terrorism, extremism. So why actually do we get all this news?
Well, first of all, this is a good thing that at least we are getting some news from Pakistan, but unfortunately it's a bit negative. I will second refer in that context that the Kashmir issue in South Asia, it's the biggest issue at the moment. So if you see the geographical location of Pakistan, it's quite important in the global affairs. For example, Afghan war, when it happened against the Soviet Union, Pakistan played a really important role at that time. And particularly more recently, post 9/11 era, Pakistan is again the main focus for the world, also for the media. So these are the two main issues. Pakistan was always in the coverage, but unfortunately on the negative side, more extremism on terrorism and all that stuff. So there are issues regarding media coverage globally, particularly Western global media, which of course somehow try to, what Pakistan do, which is in favor of Pakistan. It doesn't mean that it's good for world or global narrative. So more or less Pakistan got always a criticism, whatever they do. And then, as I said, the geographical location of Pakistan, then other issues regarding, for example, in our southwest border, in Balochistan, there are lots of, international intelligence agencies who are playing their role. There are voices of separation. So whenever our defense try to cover these issues, to try to tackle this voice of separation, then again international media criticize them. So Pakistan is quite a critical situation. It's a kind of a dilemma. I will give you another example regarding the death penalty. I mean, just imagine a country which lost its army more than 70,000, and the terrorists who just killed in Peshawar in an army public school, the terrorists just came in and they killed all the children, everybody. And what reaction you expect from a state? Just to give you an idea why media criticized some issues in Pakistan. Of course, they said, okay, we will build the military courts, which I am not in favor of course, but there will be death penalty. We have to eradicate these issues, extremism, terrorism from Pakistan. So they take hard steps, which is, of course, for human rights organization, is not acceptable. They got criticism, even media. Everybody was bashing Pakistan. But if you have to go out, if you have issues which world hardly saw or which are new, and at the same time it is atomic power. More recent, there was a news regarding Pakistan want to build more atomic nuclear weapons, I mean, there was another news that India is also growing this arsenal, nuclear arsenal. So in that context, there are statements which comes in a geopolitical situation. And now when China is investing more than, I mean, $46 billion in Pakistan in the name of CPEC project, so some people don't also criticize that China is creating their hegemony in Pakistan. They are investing more in that. So more or less, it's again the local decisions which are taken by Pakistani government, civil government. They are not particularly up to the marks of international human rights standards or the international values or the expectation what international community, what international community expect from Pakistan. They are not up to that mark. But somehow one have to understand that there must be local interest which is better for Pakistan also. Mm-hmm. But there are good news. Somehow we also come on that. But generally, of course, you are right. I will give you right on that media also always project the negative news, because always a bad news is a good news.
Sami, is this good news, bad news? Do you agree that Pakistan is a safe country?
I think first we should define what does safe country means. Mm-hmm. If you don't have the education for the people, see the rural areas in Pakistan. Lahore is one of the most developed city in Punjab, and in last 20 years, the government did not build even one hospital in that city. It's if you just see that on the media reports in Pakistan somewhere after if some casualty happens, so on one bed there are 3 patients. It's everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. So if this is your level of the healthcare things, we listen every year that in the desert in Cholistan, the 100 kids died. Last year it was because there was no water, and so in this condition, when your army is on a fight, on the same war, which was started from America together with United Nations, and they were 15 years in Afghanistan, and then at the end they said, okay, we killed one person, Osama bin Laden, and we are going back. But the Taliban, they become stronger as they were in 2000. So now Pakistan army is fighting with them. More than 1 million we have the IDPs, internal dispersed people. Mm-hmm. So just because of this operation in Waziristan, and just I'm not telling how many numbers of migrants, refugees we have from Afghanistan, and if in your country your army headquarters is being attacked, and the terrorism, this health, this education, all these things, you should look all these things, and then you can say, okay, so what's the definition of being safe country? And now the deal of European Union and between the Turkey, this is the point which I did not understand. Even the Amnesty International describes it doesn't say that Turkey is a safe country. So it's a still question for me, and I think people should also think on this point. We are not working actually that how to stop the refugees. We don't want to work on the reason which is creating the refugees. We don't want to treat the refugees in the host country in Germany, but we want to stop them in middle of the way. So this thing, the Western world, the developed nations, the educate, when you try to support the people on the human rights basis, so look, what are the things? The NGOs, they do their works. If you look back, since when the NGOs, they started to work for the development of, to make the water purification plants in the deserts. See, where are those plants? They finished their projects, they came back. I mean, it's still my question. If the European Union is making a deal with the Pakistani government now, and they're saying, okay, so we are giving some money to the Pakistani government, and we are sending back the refugees. I mean, for me, the person who had his life threat there, who came just to support his family because otherwise there was no option, there was not any other option, so his family could live. So whether these deals will help those individuals, whereas I think that in Pakistan we need to we need transparency in justice, in our court system, in the police mafia, I will say police mafia, and because they are getting paid from the government, but they are working for the political positions. So these are the health, these are our problems. And if you work on those things, of course, when people, they will have their better life, they would love to live in their homelands with their families. They don't have to walk for the months and live here the life in the streets.
Yeah. What are your future plans? Was it worth leaving Pakistan and come here to Germany?
Well, the reasons which imposed refuge on me, of course, in Germany, I am safe with all these things. I live my normal life. I'm very satisfied about my work, what I'm doing. We started a self-organized theater group with refugees, and we tried to make a connection between German public and from refugees, and using art as a tool to show the problems of refugees. And this project went well, and it's well known in Germany. And with our theater group, we performed in all the big theaters, mostly big theaters in Berlin and as well in Frankfurt and Norway. So at national level, and for me, it was a chance in March. It was a pleasure that because of my work, I had a chance to go to the German Parliament, Bundestag zum Thema Flucht und global migration. So it's an honor. So it shows that when you live in a society where there is an education, when you live in a society when everything is transparent, then you get what you deserve. You get what you work for. This is the things which makes me satisfied here, that I am playing my role. We are working with the isolated people, the discriminated people, and especially their problems. There are a lot of problems, and it's not the subject to focus, especially the issues of here. But in future, we want to develop this thing more. We want to development in art field. We want to open more possibilities for refugees here, so they in the welcome culture, that how we can connect this thing with the welcome culture. When we have more than 1 million refugees, we want to listen the stories of the world. We want to tell it to the German people, what stories people they have behind. And we want to fight against this racism. We want to fight against this discrimination. And more, we also want to develop intercultural, this development, the foreign culture and the German culture, bringing it under the one roof and developing it together. These are the things what I'm doing, where I'm involved, and I'm very satisfied because of my work, what I'm doing. And I wish if I will get the equal rights of work in Germany, which I don't have because of my asylum, because of my status asylum seeker. Of course, I would also love to have my job in my profession as an aero technician and working in any airline or in any company where I can work as a aero technician.
Thank you, Sami. So, Rifat, how do you see your future in Germany?
I deserve best. I expect best because I want to study further. It was my dream to study in a foreign country, maybe in Germany if I got a chance to. I see my future is bright here because my husband, he's legal, he's on a, he's a bow engineer, he's a job, and my daughter, she's born here. I'm learning German. I started to go to school to learn German. I'm trying to mix up with the culture, to learn German culture, but I'm not sure what my case is being decided. For others, I'm not sure what their case is being decided. It's yes or no. If they said no to me, then I have to search another country to live. And my efforts, which I have, I have done my efforts here, they are being ruined. They are being wasted. So there should be a policy. If they want to say yes, so it should be decided soon, because life is too short. It should be decided within the time when the person is alive, not when he is dead or his family is dead behind, or it should be on the time.
Irfan, as a journalist now, you meet probably also a lot of refugees from Pakistan, but also students here, like yourself. So actually, how do they see each other, and how do they see their fellow countrymates struggling in a foreign country where they're studying, like, for example, Germany? Are they supportive, or what is their relationship?
For somehow, they always compare themselves and say, see, we are the one who paid lots of money to come to Germany, study here, we work hard, we are not allowed to work even. So it's quite a mixed opinion. But what really hurts me, as we started the program about this economic migrant, economic refugees, what happened in Greece when people were sending back just on the nationality, that Pakistanis, Afghans will go back from Greece to Turkey because they are coming from so-called safe countries, and Turkey is safe as well, which is denied by Amnesty International. So I really feel about that on one point, the European government also is quite naive towards the refugees from Pakistan. And at the same time, the community, the Pakistani diaspora, which is, I must say, it's not too big. For example, 7,000 people live in Berlin. It's not like Turkish community. Or so to say, in UK, where recently a Pakistani origin, Sadiq Khan, became a London mayor. So it's quite small. They don't really support the problems, the issue of refugees. So at the end of the day, these are the refugees who got victimized to some extent, so which is quite pity to say.
So thank you very much. Thank you, Sami, for being present. Thank you, Rifa. Thank you, Irfan, for your expertise and elaborating our view on the situation in Pakistan, but also in Kashmir. What are the difficulties that refugees are facing, what Pakistanis are facing in their countries, but also in the resettlement countries as in Germany. So thank you very much. Thank you, of course, Rem Connect, for giving this platform for the Pakistani community. Pakistani community here in Germany, and I think, and I speak of all of you, that it would be also Kashmir community, that it would be nice if there would be more opportunities actually to have this debate. Thank you.